Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at Ethereum and its valuations against Bitcoin. Ethereum's moving. You could say that Ethereum's moved quite a bit. Yesterday, it moved about, I believe it was like almost 10%, if I'm not mistaken. And today, we're looking at a 4% Ether. And all these percentages are against Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. Dollar value, we're currently at like $730. Just double checking. Yeah, so we moved about 8% yesterday, and then today we're starting at like 4%. Good start to the Monday, if I do so say so myself. However, we mentioned that it's entirely possible to have Ethereum move, you know, slightly bullish for a few days and then continue the trend down. It's entirely possible. However, we're gonna speculate if this is the move, then how is it gonna look like? And we have Ethereum here at the bottom, Ethereum against Bitcoin, and its Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. Up here we have Bitcoin against the US dollar, along with our trusty 20-week moving average. The lines here indicate prior all-time highs. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the prior all-time high, so $1,000 roughly, and see what happened. So we can draw the line here at the candle body, or we can do it at the wick. Either way, I think it pretty much sums what what we're looking at here. So in lieu of getting to the prior all-time high, Ethereum was in a downtrend. It lost pretty good chunk of its valuation against Bitcoin. It lost about 60%. Um, However, it did reverse, and we see that reversal happen around the 1st of January. Coincidentally enough, you could also see here the previous year, the first week of January, we saw the trend reverse as well. This kind of goes to our indication of how Q1 favors altcoins, especially in a bull market. And you can say that during this time, January 2017, we were indeed in a bull market. How can we um, how can we extrapolate that? Well, there's before that move of Ethereum, we saw not once, but 2 times Bitcoin holding the 20-week moving average. Prior to that, it did break, but it came back up. And the next time it came back down, it hit the 20-week, and it held. And so because of that, I would say that we are in the beginning stages of the bull market, and it obviously shows afterwards with hindsight. With the first Q1, and also of lieu of coming to the prior all-time high, Ethereum gives us a pretty big 37% move to the upside. As soon as it hits the prior all-time high, as soon as Bitcoin hits the prior all-time high, it moves. It moves sideways here, comes up above the prior all-time high, and we see weekly candles of 3, 6, and 2%, so negligible moves, followed by 21% when it gets to the last green candle, and then following that is when the big move of Ethereum happened. Bitcoin actually corrected about 20% or 30%, yeah, about 20%, 22% to the downside, back to the prior all-time high right here. In that time frame, Ethereum shot up in 3 weeks 249%. Now following that move, Bitcoin's now corrected 20%, back to the 20-week and back to the prior all-time high. What happens then? Well, we see that it held and it continued on, continued higher. When we look at Ethereum, it almost does the same thing. It moves to another modest 300% in that time span. Well, you could bring it lower because like I think it was up to here. So yeah, 200% from the peak of the uh, Bitcoin move that we saw here, if you want to call this a peak here. The top of the peak brought Ethereum to 214% above, followed by two green weekly candles afterwards. Sorry, one more weekly candle upwards where Bitcoin corrected a bit. And then this is where the crash back to the 20-week had happened. So Bitcoin corrected about 30%, and that was the catalyst for Ethereum to come back down against Bitcoin. So that show was over. And then it was not only until Bitcoin made the new peak, the all-time high of $20,000 in 2017, was when we saw Ethereum rally again. Now, this move here is not something that we're looking at right now. What we're looking at is how the move for Ethereum is going to look like in the coming weeks, in the coming months. Some would argue it's happening already right now, but it would be too early to call, and we simply don't know. But we see that in times past, when we look at how Bitcoin's relationship with altcoins act, we we come to this idea that, well, if Bitcoin's moving violently up to the upside or the downside, well, altcoins are going to bleed against Bitcoin. Well, I would argue, yes, that is true. However, the exception would be if when Bitcoin comes above the prior all-time high. And at this point, Bitcoin has rose quite a number of percents from the last correction. So from the last time it went to the 20-week to the top, we're looking at 72% move to the upside. So you can argue that Bitcoin was moving pretty harshly. The only difference between this time and other times was um, A, that Bitcoin was above its prior all-time high, and B, that it was Q1 of the year. And then we know that during bull markets, altcoins do move rather well in Q1 with varying degrees of success. This seemed like the perfect cocktail for altcoins. Bitcoin was above its prior all-time high, above the 20-week moving average. It was Q1. It seemed like the stars were aligned. Now we go to now. We're $7,000 above the 20-week moving average. In percentage terms, we're looking at about a 41%, a 35% move from $20,000. We are well above the 20-week moving average. The 20-week moving average, for everyone who wishes to know, is about $15,468. If we were to replicate the move of last time, Bitcoin will stay at this level and we'll see Ethereum slowly catch up, but the big move will come when in Q1. This would happen in Q1, I would expect. Uh, Bitcoin will retrace back, and in that time of retracement, Ethereum will be catching ground, and that's when the big move for Ethereum will come. Is it going to happen like that? Of course, it doesn't have to. I'm using prior, historical pattern of the last time this has happened and kind of just refitting it to today's prices. So it doesn't necessarily have to happen. However, when we look at the daily, when we see in the past 2 days, we see 12%. And in the coming days, if we see continuation of those moves, the idea that a Q1 Ethereum and Q1 altcoins that move fairly well against Bitcoin becomes more and more of a reality to me. Until then, it's simply just a sit down and wait and see kind of deal, as with a lot of things. With my Ethereum position, I'm done accumulating. I have the Ethereum that I want, and I'm ready to rock and roll. But that's essentially what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.